Well, if you are a homeowner, you have probably heard of a special type of home loan called a reverse mortgage. But what exactly is it? Is it right for you? Bill Wood, certified financial planner and senior lecturer at Wright State University, is here with information to help you weigh the pros and the cons. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Okay, so let's start with the basic. What is a reverse mortgage?
Okay, often we refer to a reverse mortgage as a home equity conversion mortgage, because that's what it is. A traditional mortgage, we borrow from the bank and we pay that loan back to the bank. As we pay that loan back to the bank, we build the equity in our home. At some point, we own all of our home. We own all of the equity. A reverse mortgage works just the opposite then. I own all of the equity in my home, and a bank then will pay me in exchange for that equity, hence the reverse part. So a reverse mortgage is where the financial institution actually pays me in exchange for their owning some portion of the equity in my home.
So how do I qualify? How does someone qualify?
Federal regulations require that there be at least one homeowner who is 62 years of age or older. That's the primary issue.
I don't qualify.
If there are, nor do I. If there are two owners of the home, then both owners are required to be age 62 or older.
Okay.
And at least one of the two owners has to live in the home as their permanent residence. Those are the two primary criteria.
So what's the difference between a reverse mortgage then and then a home equity loan or line of credit?
Pretty significant difference. Now, a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit is a variation on a traditional mortgage. Number one, you have to be credit worthy, so there's a credit check. And if you're looking at a reverse mortgage, it's probably because you're having a hard time making ends meet, which may mean that your credit may not be as good as it might otherwise be.
Right.
Number two, with a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit, again, you're making payments to somebody. There's required payments to somebody.
Is there a risk, though, with the reverse mortgage?
Well, several, actually. As I mentioned earlier, to qualify, you have to live in the home as your primary residence. So if there is a situation where you might not be living in your home, if only one person owns the home, for example, and they, for medical reasons, need to go to a nursing home or in an assisted living environment, they're now no longer living in the home. Federal regulations define a permanent residence as someplace you've lived for 12 months. So if you are not in that home for 12 months, then you are in default of that reverse mortgage, which would mean that then the loan would have to be paid, which is another risk, if you will. If you
paid in full, then?
It would have to be paid in full.
Okay.
You're in default, would have to be paid in full. So how does that happen? Well, one of two things has to happen. Either somebody, maybe family, pays off the loan, or the house has to be sold. And so if you want to leave your home to your heirs, then a reverse mortgage probably is not a good idea. If there are circumstances in your family where you're likely to be in a nursing home at some point in the not too distant future, a reverse mortgage probably is not a good idea for you either. There are some websites and some locations to go to that might be a good idea. The National Council on Aging has some good information, and the toll-free number is on the screen. Shop around to different sources. Again, on the screen is HUD.gov, which will give you a list of approved and certified reverse mortgage lending institutions. Talk to all the various lenders, ask about fees, and make sure that you fully understand the loan before you go any further.
The more educated you are, the better it is.
Always the case.
Thank you for educating us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.